Hi, 5 leadership tips on navigating the COVID-19 crisis response. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in companies scrambling to take action to ensure they remain afloat in this challenging time. Leaders are also monitoring the situation and responding accordingly by implementing business continuity plans. Yes, you agree with me? Well, what leaders require during a crisis is not predefined response plan, but behaviors and mindsets that will prevent them from overreacting to yesterday's developments and help them look forward to challenges. In light of this, I am identifying 5 essential behaviors that leaders can undertake to help them navigate through this uncertain future that we are facing today. Tip number 1: building a network of teams. In the midst of a crisis, leaders need to forego the belief that a top-down response will give rise to stability. Normally, companies can typically rely on its command and control structure during routine emergencies to handle operations and carry out a scripted response. However, when it comes to crisis characterized by uncertainty, I repeat, characterized by uncertainty, you as a leader encounter problems that are unfamiliar and poorly understood. And a small group of executives at the highest level are generally unable to collect all the information or make decisions quickly enough to respond effectively. To overcome this, clear priorities should be set by leaders for the crisis response, and others in the company should be empowered to discover and implement solutions that serve these priorities. Leaders can organize a network of teams to promote rapid problem solving and execution under high stress and chaotic conditions as we are facing today. According to research, a network of team comprises a highly adaptable assembly of groups that are united by a common purpose and collaborate in a similar way that the individuals on a single team will do. Yeah? Makes sense. Some parts of the network pursue actions that take place outside the regular business operations. Other parts identify the crisis implications of the routine business activities and make adjustments, such as helping employees adapt to new working norms. Bringing it down further, the network of teams will consist of an integrated nerve center covering 4 areas: customer engagement, workforce protection, supply chain stabilization, and financial stress testing. Besides setting up the network of teams, I urge the leaders to foster collaboration and transparency across the network that you create. One way to achieve this by distributing authority and sharing information on time. In crisis situation, a leader's instinct might be to consolidate decision-making authority and control information, providing it on a strictly need-to-know basis. However, doing the opposite will encourage the teams to follow suit. And they will do well, right? Another important part of the leadership role is promoting. You need to promote psychological safety so that employees can openly discuss ideas, questions, concerns without fear of any repercussions that would happen. Yeah, doing so allows the network of teams to make sense of the situation and learn how to handle it through healthy debates and discussions, healthy conversations. Right? So the tip number two, elevating leaders during a crisis. Leaders must be prepared to empower others to direct several aspects of the company's response. This includes giving them the authority to make and implement decisions without requiring your approvals. At this point in time, the important function of senior executives is to quickly establish an architecture for decision making so that accountability is very clear and decisions are made by appropriate people at different levels in your organization. Right? Well, it is important that the right people are empowered to make crisis response decisions, while a group of decision makers will be appointed initially to respond to the crisis as the situation evolves. New crisis response leaders will naturally emerge from the network of teams that you create. Those crisis response leaders in particular will not always be senior executives. Well, experience is most valuable during routine emergencies. Here, the character is of the utmost importance in this novel landscape scale crisis that we are undergoing today. Crisis response leaders must be able to unify teams behind a single purpose and frame questions for them to investigate. The best leaders will display the qualities of deliberate calm and bounded optimism. As it is explained that deliberate calm is one's ability to detach from a fraught or a fearful situation and think clearly about how one will navigate the situation. It is commonly found in well-grounded individuals who possess humility but not helplessness. As for bounded optimism, it is more effective for leaders to showcase confidence that the organization will find a way to pull through this crisis, but also exhibit that they recognize the uncertainty of the crisis and have also come to terms with it by collecting more information. When the crisis has passed, then optimism will be more beneficial to you and the team and can be far less bounded. That's point number 2. Point number 3, decision making while you undergo this uncertainty. Decision making while you undergo this uncertainty. Leaders often make the common mistake of waiting for a full set of facts to emerge before deciding on the next steps. As a crisis involves many unknowns and surprises, it is true that facts may not become clear within the necessary decision-making time frame. You may not get it on time. However, leaders should not resort to merely using their intuition. Instead, they can get and better cope with uncertainty by continuously gathering information as the crisis unfolds and observing how effective their responses are. Do you agree with me? Yes? This means frequently pausing from the crisis management, assessing the situation from multiple vantage points, anticipating what may happen next, and then act on it. Act on it. I would give you a framework. The pause, assess, anticipate, act cycle should be ongoing. I repeat, the pause, assess, anticipate, act cycle should be ongoing. For it helps leaders maintain a state of deliberate calm and avoid overreacting to new information as it comes in. Every day we get new information. While some moments during the crisis will call for immediate action, with no time to assess or anticipate, leaders will eventually find occasions to stop, reflect, and think ahead before making further moves. Well, it is explained that updating and doubting are two cognitive behaviors that can help leaders as they assess and anticipate. Updating involves revising ideas based on new information. Your network of teams collect, and the knowledge that they develop during this period. Meanwhile, doubting aids leaders in considering ongoing potential actions critically and deciding whether there is a need for the actions to be modified, adopted, or discarded. That's your call. You're the best judge of your own situation in the company. Upon deciding on a plan of action, leaders need to act with resolve, as visible decisiveness not only builds a company's confidence in leaders and your team's confidence in you, but also motivates your employees to sustain its search for solutions to the challenges that they and you are facing today. Number 4, the fourth step, demonstrating empathy. This is a loosely used word, and many don't understand what is empathy. Well, it is ever more important during a crisis for leaders to uphold the need to make positive difference in people's lives. Doing so requires leaders to acknowledge that your people's personal and professional challenges that they are facing and their loved ones are facing are during this crisis is very, very important, and you need to show empathy. Since each crisis will affect people in particular ways, leaders should pay careful attention to how people are struggling and take responding measures to support them. Besides demonstrating empathy, don't leave yourself alone. Leaders should be also open themselves to empathy from others and pay attention to your own well-being. Your own well-being is very important for you to lead your people. Stress, fatigue, uncertainty build up during a crisis. Leaders might find that their abilities to process information, to remain level-headed, and to exercise good judgment will certainly decrease in you. You will stand a better chance of countering functional declines if you encourage your colleagues to express concern and heed the warnings that they are giving it to you. Invest time in their well-being will enable you as a leader to sustain your employees' effectiveness over the weeks and months that a crisis can entail. We are not very unsure. So you are the person to go and look up to, right? The fifth tip, maintain transparency. By practicing thoughtful, frequent communication. I repeat, by practicing thoughtful, frequent communication, leaders show that they are following the situation, adjusting their responses as they learn more. This helps to reassure your stakeholders that you are confronting this crisis. According to the recent research, leaders should take special care to see that each of your audience's concerns, questions, and interests are addressed. Having members of the crisis response team speak firsthand about what they are doing can be particularly effective in this situation. Motivate them, help them to speak and give you those inputs. Additionally, communications should not stop once the crisis is over. Everything is not permanent. It's a passing wind. Instead, leaders should work towards offering an optimistic, realistic outlook, as it will have a powerful effect on your employees and your stakeholders and inspire them to support the company's recovery along with you. So the 5 tips which I shared with you today is: number 1, building a network of teams. Number 2, elevating leaders during a crisis. Number 3, decision making while undergoing uncertainty. Number 4, demonstrate empathy. Number 5, maintain transparency in your team. I hope you enjoyed listening to this, and I would certainly appreciate if you as a leader take action on this and practice this in your organization and help your people and yourself to sail through beautifully through this crisis. And I wish you all the very best and have a wonderful weekend, and take care, stay safe, stay home. And this is Justin Babu, your workplace happiness coach. See you soon. Bye-bye.